Most people think entrepreneurs are chasing happiness, but they're not. They're chasing something far more uncomfortable: productivity. And not because they dislike happiness, but because happiness is temporary and productivity is what creates momentum and progress and meaning. And in this video, I'm going to break down why entrepreneurs consistently choose productivity over happiness and how this mindset shapes our decisions and what happens when you chase happiness first instead of progress. And by the end of the video, you will know whether this way of thinking is helping you or quietly burning you out. And a crucial piece of this in the final minute of the video is like the moment. So be sure you don't click off early. So here's the deal is there's this like arrival fallacy with us entrepreneurs. And it's the trap that most of us fall into of once we get the done, once my emails are checked off, once I've organized my Google Drive, I've cleaned off my desk, I've gotten the P&Ls done, I've got the agenda prepped for the next meeting. Once I get all of that done, I get the offer launch, then I'll feel successful. But the hard truth is, and you and I both know, like this is what actually happens, is you finish the task, like you get a 3-second hit of dopamine, and then your brain like immediately scans the field, the horizon for what's next. What's the next big problem to solve? And here's the deal. You aren't chasing happiness. You are chasing an absence of anxiety. You are working 12-hour days, not to build an empire, but to quiet that voice in your head that constantly is saying you aren't doing enough. And you know what? That's not productivity. It's a trauma response disguised as a business strategy. Oh, if you could take a dagger into a younger version of myself and put it into my heart. And I think that's applicable even in life, like even beyond business, because what we have to do is actually redefine what productivity means for you. And real entrepreneurs, real leaders know. They know this, that happiness, that light, fluffy, sunshine and rainbows, Care Bears dancing in, the space and sky. My baby nursery was Care Bears. Is that like a random side note? I think it is. I know. I feel like a total 80s kid here. But like that feeling, that moment, like Teletubbies, that is an unstable way, like an unstable feeling to build a business on. And we can't wait to feel like it, but it doesn't help us in the end. We need to replace that word happiness in our lives with the word alignment. And we need to replace the word busy with the word effective. Because imagine that in your life, like happy and busy or aligned and effective. What gives you more peace? What helps you feel more grounded and centered? And for me, alignment is like totally where it's at. But how do you stay productive without burning out? And how do you find that meaning? Well, there are 5 simple micro habits that I'm going to go through in this video that help to rewire your operating system, that system that's in your brain. Because I used to run on adrenaline and cortisol, and I don't want that for you. I don't want you to have to make the years of mistakes that I did. I want you to be able to watch this video and feel like that you can immediately make some small changes that are greatly going to impact and change your life. And so here's the first habit. It's like that champagne moment of the because what we do typically is we wake up and the first thing we do is check our phones. And as soon as you check your phone, your brain and your body and your entire nervous system is wired into somebody else's world, somebody else's way of thinking. And so before I consume anything in the mornings, I take time for me. And so I produce one thing or one experience at least that makes me feel like grounded and centered. I get up out of bed, I get warm lemon water, and I take time to read scripture, and I get laundry in and get it started for the day. For me, that is like a moment, and then I head off to the gym and then I walk. Like that is my time. It's also what I call the 0 hour. So we'll be sure and link the 0 hour in the show notes for you guys as well, and try to put one of those fancy cards up on the screen, right? And so if you give yourself that first bit of the day, then you are prepped and ready, and your nervous system is aligned to give yourself to the world, to your family, to your businesses the rest of the day. But if you let that first hour go to chaos, you will end up empty every single day figuring out how are you ever going to recharge. The second habit is the post-it note rule. So when you write something down, like on a post-it note, like a physical post-it note, only so much fits on it, right? But as entrepreneurs and busy leaders, we constantly have a to-do list going in our brains, and you have to get out of that habit. You have to put the to-do list, write it down, okay? Whether it's in a planner, whether it's on a post-it note. I love writing things down at my desk on an actual post-it and sticking it on the desk, something that I know I need to get taken care of. And then I'll take care of it and throw the post-it away. I get that little hit of dopamine because I got to throw it away. And if I'm doing strategic planning, like for the week, I'll definitely make a list in my planner, but making sure like if it's not on the post-it, then it doesn't happen today. These are the main things I'm going to get done. And that helps you know, like, I am going to prioritize and focus on these because it helps you realize that priorities mean more than volume, right? You can only make 2 or 3 really good decisions a day. So you've got to save those for what matters. Because as an entrepreneur and a leader and a business owner and a mom and a parent, your list is never going to end. It's never going to end. I'm here to tell you. And so then what? It's our thinking about the list and the way we approach the things that we're working on that make all the difference. All right, habit number 3 is energy batching, not just time batching. So I've done videos on time blocking. You can Google it, ChatGPT, you can find all the things, but you also have to think about your energy, because the problem is, like, if you try to be creative after like a 2-hour finance meeting, your brain is fried. You've been looking at numbers, like everything is crazy. You have to block based on your energy. So for me, I usually get to recharge over the weekend, unless it's we're in travel season for our youth recreation business. And so then sometimes it's not quite as effective. So you have to like sense the energy. When are things going well or not? But on Mondays is my finance day. That's like my hyper focus day, because finance builds freedom, and freedom helps make all of our companies more healthy. So Mondays, I do finance. Tuesdays are my tasks day. That's when I'm like, my son's in homeschool co-op on Tuesdays. And so then he's not here. And because I'm a mompreneur, I love that word, or like a mom boss. Is that another one? Or like mom of the year. I don't know. There's not a word for that, but if there was, right, it would be cool. I tell my son all the time he should give me one if there was one, but I don't think there is one. So here we are. So on Tuesdays, he's gone. I'm like task girl. Wednesdays is for meetings. Thursday is my connection day. So whether I take somebody to lunch, I send out encouraging messages, I reach out to my team, try to make sure if nothing else happens on Thursdays, that's what happens on Thursdays. And I connect with my son on Thursdays. And then Fridays is my creative day. The only thing that has to get accomplished on Fridays is this recording, this time. That is what Fridays are for. And so help me to be more productive by, if you like this video and more content like this, put a like on the video, because that helps train the algorithm so that I don't have to let people know who wants to be watching these videos and pop them up in the YouTube algorithms over and over. So, and I'd love for you to subscribe if you'd like to see more of the content too. The biggest takeaway, though, from this energy blocking is realizing that drifting is not going to work here. You cannot drift your way through this. You've got to be intentional about when and how you're spending your energy. Habit number 4 is closing loops. So if you have tons of open tabs on your computer, in your brain, if it drains you throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. So closing those tabs, if it takes less than 2 minutes, do it right now. Okay. If you needed to remember it for tomorrow, set an alarm on your phone. There's no reason this day and age that you should be walking around with a full bucket in your brain when all of these tools are there for you to use. And if you're not using those tools, I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell you, you're just not disciplined, right? And so if you really want to lock in and achieve your goals and build your businesses and life this year, you're going to have to use the tools. There's no way around it. And habit number 5 is like the happiness hack. So it's like the reverse gap. So instead of only looking at how far like you have to go, at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, end of the quarter, you get to turn around backwards, right? You get to look back at what you have done, what you have accomplished. One of my favorite days, there's 4 of them in the year. My executive assistant and I, Rebecca, we sit down and we go over the last 3 months. We look through our camera reels, we look on our phones, we look in our calendars and our planners, and we go through the last 3 months and write down all the good things that have happened. Because what that does is it rewires your brain to start looking for wins and not always looking at what is left to come. Because again, the to-do list is never going to be over. And here's the irony that like ties a bow on it all is when you stop chasing happiness and you start chasing meaningful purpose through these habits, that's when happiness actually shows up. You stop feeling like a cog in your own machine that if you break, it's all going to break. And you start feeling like the driver, like you're in the driver's seat and realizing that your goal isn't to finish the work so that you can finally live. Your goal is to build a work life that you don't need to escape from, that you choose vacation and you choose travel and you choose days off out of pure joy, not because you're running away from something that you really don't want to come back to. And so I want you to look at your to do list today. This is your challenge and look at the task and see, are you building a legacy or are you just keeping yourself busy? Because the thing is we have to realize that there is a difference. There's a difference of constantly scanning the horizon, looking for something to do because you shouldn't feel slow, and actually choosing meaningful, purposeful projects that are going to move you ahead and where you want to go. And if you are ready to stop the busy, if you are ready to multiply your revenue streams and grow your leadership without losing your sanity, then check out the links in the show notes today because you really won't be disappointed.